Welcome to the Joy to the World Holiday Wine Batch, red, white, and festive food. I'm joined today by four very spirited wine lovers who are going to talk about their favorite wines to pair with holiday dishes from around the world. I'm going to let them introduce themselves to tell us a little bit about where they're based and maybe one of the most memorable wines they've had during holidays past. I'm going to start with Valerie. So over to you, Valerie.
Well, hello, everybody. Happy holidays. My name is Valerie Stride. That's my full name, and I'm in Vancouver, BC. And my website is demystifiedvine.com. So I'm here because I love wine, obviously, and I love to share my passion for wine. One of the favorite wine memories that I have actually took place last Christmas when I went back to Toronto to visit my family, and I was perusing the LCBO stores, and I found a Baco Noir from Henry of Palam, and it was really, really beautiful. I'd never had a Baco actually, and so I got to sip that with my family, and it was comforting and velvety and lots of dark fruit, and it was cozy considering I'm not used to Toronto winters anymore. So.
Great, Valerie. All right,
I'll canter over to Sarah now.
Okay, Sarah.
Hi, everyone. Happy holidays. My name is Sarah, and I'm based out of Calgary, Alberta. I have a blog called Got to Get You Into My Belly, but the website is mantlesat.blogspot.ca, and I'm an aspiring wine writer. And I would have to say that my most memorable holiday wine was actually just about a week ago. My parents live back in Ontario. That's where I'm originally from. And because I'm not going to be flying home to see my family this year, they came out and we did our Christmas dinner this past weekend. And so we actually tucked in a few bottles. And the one that our family tended to like the most, well, the one that all three of us liked the most was Chateau Beaumont. It was the 2008 vintage. It comes out of the Haute-Médoc in Bordeaux. And although it's not, I wouldn't say it's as full-bodied as a normal Cabernet-driven Bordeaux wine, it was so beautiful. It's just so well-rounded, so well-structured, so complex, and just shows off some beautiful red fruit, some great vegetal notes, and even just a little hint of smoke, and I love that in my wines. And with that said, I'm going to pass the decanter on to Christy.
All right, Christy.
Good segue. My name's Christy Gardner. I'm living in Toronto, Ontario. And the wine that I wanted to talk about that is sort of important to me was actually the Burrowing Owl Merlot. It was the first wine that I had when I had lived in Victoria. And Victoria was a big love affair of everything West Coast, and so that wine was really, really special to me. I didn't know anybody at the time, and it was sort of, kind of like a nice big fat warm hug in a city where I didn't know anybody. So it's definitely up there for me as far as what's memorable and what I like to feel when I'm trying wine. So
terrific.
So that's definitely mine. And I'll pass it over to Adam.
All right, Adam.
Hi, my name's Adam Bauer, and I'm in Halifax, Nova Scotia. It's where I'm from. The wine that is most memorable for me over the holidays would definitely be Mission Hill Oculus. I lived in Jasper, Alberta for 4 years, and I didn't really consider myself a wine drinker until someone bought me Mission Hill Oculus for Christmas. And I brought it home with me after the holidays to Nova Scotia. I shared it with my family, and they loved it as well. It was my first really nice wine, Bordeaux blend style, really opened me up to what Okanagan's capable of. And every year after that, I had to bring a bottle with me, whatever vintage was out. The first one I had was a 2000, and what really sticks in my mind is the owner of the wine store in Jasper. He held on to every bottle he had. He actually had it locked behind key, and you had to convince him if you want to buy more than one bottle. So it was just really, something you want to get your hands on. It's pretty special.
Oh, That's great, Adam. Thank you. From Oculus to, I was thinking memorable. I wasn't thinking so august like you guys. My most memorable was probably some of my first wine that I had. Scottish family, Nova Scotia, Adam. And we usually brought out the special box from the fridge. It was the wine that, had been left over from Easter and was still going strong at Christmas because we were, beer and whiskey Scottish family. So that was a pretty memorable introduction to wine. Needless to say, I didn't get back to it till my late 20s. So anyway, well, we're all in a festive mood, and we're here, as I said, for the Joy to the World Wine Match. I just wanted to say a few things about how this one is different from the last one we did, which was all about Canadian wines. So this time round, we're going to nominate our favorite wines from around the world anywhere, including Canada, but they are going to be under $25, and we're going to match them up with holiday dishes from around the world, from different cultures and traditions. So again, this is truly a people's choice, bottoms-up kind of competition. You don't have to be a wine expert to participate. And what we're trying to do is crowdsource or put together the ultimate holiday wine shopping list so that we can all, pour like Santa but save like Scrooge when it comes to entertaining or gift giving, that sort of thing. So we're going to go right back to the East Coast again, to you, Adam, and you're going to kick it off with the wine you've chosen for traditional roast turkey dinner.
Yes. Who doesn't love turkey dinner? My family is from Germany originally, and they actually moved to United States, to South Carolina, then to Nova Scotia. Kind of funny, I moved from Nova Scotia to South Carolina. Never made it to Germany, but it kind of ties into this pairing for me. Thanksgiving dinner is traditional in North America and Canada and U.S., and my favorite wine to pair with that is Riesling, a nice German Riesling. So I brought a bottle of Dr. Zenzen Riesling.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And this one is a 2009. And when you think Thanksgiving dinner, you think turkey, stuffing, gravy, potatoes, sweet potato, cranberry sauce. So you're into a heavy meal. You want a wine that's going to be a little lighter in alcohol, and this wine is 8%. And also it has some sweetness too, some residual sugar, and that is going to go nicely with the cranberry sauce and the sweet potato. And it has some nice high acidity that will battle that richness of the turkey dinner. And it's very, very cleansing, so it helps you get through the meal, and hopefully you can make your way to dessert.
Awesome. That's really great, Adam. And now we're going to go over to Christy in Toronto, because she has a great wine for bacala, the traditional Italian-Portuguese fish dish. Christy.
Yes. The wine that I decided to go with for this was the Sokol Blosser Evolution. It's out of Oregon, and it was by far, again, one of my favorite wines that I've had when I was living out on the coast. But it's got really great flavor. It's made out of 9 different varietals that vary from year to year based on what they get out of their crops. And it's got it like Pinot Gris, it's got Pinot Blanc, it's got Chardonnay, and so there's just a whole bunch of different things there. So it's got the body that it needs to stand up to something like salt cod, essentially. But it can also pair nicely with something that's got a little bit of spice to it. So if you were to put it with like tomato sauce and olives and whatnot, it could work really well either way.
Wow, that sounds great. Okay, well, let's fly back to Sarah in Calgary, and she is thinking about Moroccan lamb, that savory lamb stew that celebrates the end of Ramadan, the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, I think. Sarah.
All right. Well, lamb tends to be a little bit more robust of meat. It tends to be a little bit stronger in flavor, and some might even describe it as having a little unique tang to it. So what you want to think of when you think of the heavier meats is you do want a wine that's a little bit more full-bodied to stand up, to have the structure to stand up to those strong flavors in the lamb. And the more spices you add to it, the more complex the flavors of the stew become. So you might want to find a wine that also has a complex flavor profile with similar flavors to help enhance the dish. So what I chose was Nugan Estates, Maclean Parish, 2010 Shiraz. And I chose it because it is very full-bodied, and the body will match up and it will help balance the weight of the dish. On top of that, I found that it had a very complex flavor profile, which included some spicy notes, such as black pepper, some cloves, and as well some cinnamon. And that would bring out some of the spices that are used in that dish, such as coriander, ginger, and what have you.
Great. And Sarah, what's the price on that wine?
That one is sitting probably at the top of your echelon. It's $24.95 in Ontario liquor stores.
Okay, well that's great. And Christy, did we get a price on your wine, Evolution?
No, it's $16.95 at the LCBO.
Oh, that's not bad. And
Yep.
Adam, back
Yes,
to your
my
wine.
yeah, the Dr. Zenzen, that's $18.29 at the NSLC.
You really can get great wines, I think, for reasonable prices, and that's what we're after. Under 25, but tasting like they cost double. Okay, Valerie, bring us home with fruitcake, the dessert that won't go away.
Yeah.
Or well, I'm trying to figure out a way that I can go for some reason and to Ontario for that scuffle block, for a long scuffle blocker. So yeah, fruitcake. You always finish a nice holiday meal with something sweet. And the wine, the dessert wine that I chose was the Quadi Essentia from California. And this one goes for $15.99 at the BC liquor store. It's a really beautiful dessert wine. It's lightly fortified to 15%. And it was actually aged in French oak barrels for about 2 months. It's just got really beautiful flavor of peaches and cream, apricot. You get a little bit of nice sort of candied lemon notes to it. And it's quite sweet, so of course, you know, your rule of thumb for dessert is that you would always make sure that your wine is sweeter than your dessert. So definitely I think this is sweeter than some fruitcake. But the other thing you could do with this, it's reasonable on the pocket, so you could actually make your own cake and drizzle some of this dessert wine over that, or you could make the Scotty. It's beautiful.
That sounds great.
So, yeah, it's great. Just beautiful orange blossom note. So I think it's quite versatile as well, which is great. So.
Oh, that's awesome, Valerie. That's great. Okay, so we have covered 4 categories today. International dishes. Of course, we've got traditional turkey. We've got Moroccan lamb. We've got the bacala, the seafood dish, Portuguese and Italian. And we've got fruitcake, which is, I guess, the UK, but it's everywhere, it seems. 2 more dishes you can nominate wines for in this competition. Latkes, the lightly fried potato pancake, that's a Jewish specialty to celebrate Hanukkah, and collard greens, which is the African dish that's often part of the Feast of Kwanzaa. So, Adam, I'm going to go back to you, and maybe you can give me a pairing for those collard greens. And that's probably going to go for a lot of different veggies, too.
Yeah, I would go with an Italian Moscato with this. It's not going to have too much acidity, so it's not going to overpower it, but it's going to have some nice sweetness. It will battle the bitterness of the greens.
Okay,
and you'll get
great.
some nice floral notes that will work well there, too.
Awesome. And Sarah, if we're thinking latkes, the potato pancakes, got a suggestion for that?
I do. I would be thinking, because I do find that potatoes have a little bit of an earthy flavor base, I might actually try to pair it with the earthiness of a Pinot Noir. Particularly from California, the 2009 vintage down there was considered a power vintage by Wine Spectator. And they're in the flavor base there, you have your red fruits, your vegetables, and your earthiness. So if you decided to serve your latkes with something else, it might also, transition into that dish as well.
That's great. Yeah, you're right. And because sometimes they have it with sour cream or something like that. Good. All right. Christy, back to collard greens. Have you got a wine in mind for that?
I do. Actually, I was thinking a lot of the time with collard greens or Brussels sprouts or any sort of those more like hearty green vegetables, a lot of the time you end up with something like bacon or pancetta or whatnot in there. So I was thinking what you could do is pair a sort of a lighter red. I was thinking specifically, I'm probably butchering this because I don't speak French, but
it's okay.
La Vieille Ferme. It's I think it's about $11.90 at the LCBO. It's super cheap. It's light. It's fruity. It's got some really nice notes of strawberry and whatnot on the nose. It's a really good pairing to put with vegetables, but it can also pair well with something that you might add to that, like the bacon or the pancetta.
Oh, that sounds awesome. And we're going to post all of these wines that you're recommending as part of this video and a blog post that if folks are wanting to try the wines you're recommending, they'll be able to do so. So Valerie, let's go back to you for the Lac Keys, please.
Okay, I am going to the Loire Valley in France. Let's go for some Sauvignon Blanc and some Sancerre, or definitely some Chenin Blanc. I think that the sort of minerality that you can find in those wines of Loire and the nice acidity of them would pair perfectly. It cuts a little bit of the grease with the Lac Keys, and I think it would just be a really nice sort of match. The potato and the minerality and the citrus notes in the wine. So.
Wow, that's great. Thank you all. So just to wrap this up, you can start voting or nominating your favorite wines today. And you've only got 9 days to do this, so get in your nominations. You can vote for your wines daily. You can vote for wines in multiple categories. And then we'll go to a finalist showdown phase with the top 5 wines in each category. There are more details on the site, but ultimately what we want to come out of this with is a very festive feeling and a great shopping list of really tasty wines under $25 from around the world. So I hope you'll participate along with us and really get into the spirit of the season. So everybody, I want to just raise a glass with you. And wish you all the best for these holidays. Cheers.
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 Happy holidays.
All right, guys. Take care. Bye.